All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Motoryacht podcast. I'm your host, Editor-in-Chief Dan Harding, here on a very cool Rosborough in Brewerton, New York, with a very special guest who I just had the pleasure of meeting, Jacquie Albina. Jacquie, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. This is I appreciate you inviting me aboard. I think we started corresponding yesterday morning, and now here we are in upstate New York, and I really appreciate the hospitality and letting me just crash your Great Loop adventure.
Well, thanks for coming up here. I'm not supposed to be here right now, but
yes.
Yeah.
You were hoping to be.
I was hoping to be in Oswego today,
That's
but
right.
We have a little outboard issue, but it's minor.
All part of the adventure, right?
It definitely is.
So, before I guess a little background. You are doing the Great Loop solo. You retired
In December.
You retired in December, and then in February you took off on this pretty epic adventure.
It's pretty epic, yes. It's epic because of the weather, but I retired in December after about 6 or 7 years of dreaming, waiting to retire, and had to wait for my granddaughter's birthday before I could leave.
Of course. Well, what's amazing is we're on a 25 Rosborough.
This is
25 Rosborough. I mean, this is an awesome boat. It was such a cool adventure to hear. Someone like yourself going out solo, making it happen after dreaming about it for so long. And but I think we're gonna take things way back just to get started. Can you tell me a little bit about your boating background? Because you were born into it, right?
I was.
Okay.
I was born and raised in the Bahamas.
Wow.
By an old salt. And if he didn't have water around him, he was not happy. So I was drugged through the islands as a child every summer on some boat or another, and with my sister. My dad didn't have any sons, so his two girls had to learn to do just about anything on the boat, from bosun to getting down between big diesel engines and turning wrenches where he couldn't fit, to cleaning fish, to everything. So at a very young age, I think I can remember, I've got pictures of me when I was about 8 or 9 driving the dinghy, taking the dogs ashore. So it's been a salty life for me. Yeah,
can I ask what your dad did for work?
He was an engineer, and he installed the cable TV system in Grand Bahama.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Day and night cable TV.
Yeah. That's a big job and an interesting job. So you grew up in it. What kind of boats were you on back then?
Well, back then, our first one, when he was dragging us through the islands, was a 25-foot Bertram.
Excellent.
And that would be 2 adults, 2 kids, and 3 dogs, large dogs, like boxers.
So your parents, your sister,
myself, and 3 large dogs on a 25-foot
That's a small boat.
For 3 weeks through the islands. And back in those days, they didn't have Garmin and all the luxuries that they have now.
Yeah.
And your rain came in, was rainwater in the islands, things like that.
Yeah.
So after that, we moved all the way up to a 28-foot Chris Craft. That gave us a little more luxury. I think my sister and I weren't actually exposed to sleeping outside at that time. And then after that, we got a 48-foot wooden, it had been a power sailor, but somebody had removed the mast.
Okay.
And so it had twin diesels, and that was luxury.
Did you guys live aboard, or was this was kind of a weekend? This was
a 3-week summer vacation, and any
Wow.
other time Dad could get us offshore.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And the big trip to over to Miami. So everybody wants to go over to Miami when you live in the islands for at least once or twice a year to buy everything you can't get in the islands and bring it back. So the boats also did that.
Interesting, like the reverse commute.
Yeah.
Interesting. So growing up, that's when you were exposed to life on smaller boats. Did you love it then, or was it's kind of like you didn't know any better? It's just what you knew. I mean,
everybody, if you didn't boat, all the kids, all us kids. My best friend lived across the water, and before we had, were able to do power boats, we were canoeing back and forth to see each other, and then you grew up fishing and lobstering and conking, and so that was your life.
It was just enmeshed with life. It wasn't like
yeah, it's what you did. And we were water skiing, and
Yeah.
everybody knew how to fix a shear pin, carry a shear pin and fix a prop, because you broke a lot of them. And
yeah. So you grew up in the Bahamas, and then you eventually made it stateside, I would imagine.
I did.
When would that have been?
My parents were British, so the thing for the British, and a lot of the people living in their islands, if they could, was they sent their kids to boarding school. So I went to boarding school and then back to the Bahamas for the summers.
Okay, so like 13, this would have been...
Yeah, it was actually 11.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay.
But you went home for the summer, and you still went on the boat trips. And and then after high school, I went to college at University of Florida. Go Gators.
There you go.
And then I met my daughter's dad, and I got married my college sweetheart.
Okay,
so there wasn't, I did talk them into boats, but there wasn't they were sailboats.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
I do that
too. Trader.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say you stayed in boating all along, or the sailboats were,
Yeah, there's always been a boat in my life. Yeah, I think right after college, my ex-husband, we moved to Texas, and there was no water. It dried up. And he would, after about a year of that, he'd come home and I'd be crying, like, I can't do this. I need water.
Yeah.
So we moved back to Florida.
Oh, man. And you were there ever since?
Yeah. Tarpon Springs.
Tarpon Springs, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about the Rosborough entering your life. Like, was there a time that you were boatless before the Rosborough? Did you go from a sailboat? How did we get into this boat?
Well, when my daughter was very young, I was racing Hobie Cats.
Nice.
So I did a lot of that. And she came with me in diapers on the Hobie Cats. But shortly after that, I realized that I had a little small monohull too, sailboat that we'd spent the weekends offshore on islands. I just wanted to raise my daughter a little bit the way I had been, instead of in front of a TV out at the islands.
I couldn't agree more.
And but then I realized that the wind is always blowing during the week and not on the weekends, so I switched over to power boats, and I wound up with a Grady White with a little walk-around cuddy.
Yeah.
And then that was when my daughter was still in high school.
Okay.
And then when she went off to college, I'm like, okay, that's it, I'm done. Just get a little whaler that you can put in the garage. So I got rid of the F-250 and put a little Boston Montauk 15 in my garage. And then I started saying, well, retirement's coming. You need a floating retirement condo. So the whaler was not my last boat, but this was intended to be my floating retirement condo, not a permanent living. I still have my house. But for retirement. I just decided to buy it early, so it was...
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So it's like, so you bought the boat from retirement, but you didn't retire. So you bought the boat, you didn't retire for quite a while.
13 years.
Right, okay.
There's
so
nothing
this
like
was
being
a
prepared
really
for
early retirement present. Okay.
Yes, the retirement was very planned and very long. But the idea was to be able to go home back to the Bahamas every year. Or go down to the Keys, or do something,
It's funny, you say home to the Bahamas. You still feel like very much your home is
That's my
in
home.
the islands.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an American as apple pie, too. My daughter's American. So, I have two homes.
Okay. No, that's fair. So, so you got the boat. And then what kind of cruising, as you were waiting for, you thought this was going to be a floating condo. I have a feeling that didn't last at all. What kind of boat, how did you use the boat while you were still working?
Weekends, whenever I could, offshore. I've taken her down to the Keys.
Okay.
I've taken her over to the Bahamas. So I did a couple long run trips, and I did one solo down to the Keys and through the Everglades, just to see if the loop if I could be by myself for that long
little trial run.
I did a month and a half trial run
through the Keys
and the Everglades, and I just absolutely loved it.
You did.
I mean, you're never really alone. You're always meeting other boaters the minute you get into a dock or something like that, or on a beach, and you're just never really alone.
Well, that's an interesting perspective. I think that takes a special kind of person. I think many people would feel alone, but the fact that, again, we just started texting yesterday and we're here today, I think speaks to you're very outgoing. I mean...
I have a big mouth.
No. I mean, that's what makes a good podcast, guys.
I'm not shy.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I think
my former employer would say the same thing.
Well, let's touch on that because... so I know your daughter Kelsey through Seakeeper. Shout out to Kelsey. But when I heard you were doing the loop solo and you just retired, I was like, well, you must have been some like adventurer. You must have had, your job must have been something else pretty epic. Not so much.
Well,
the IRS?
Yes.
Oh my God. No,
I was a CPA for many, many years.
Okay.
And I worked in public accounting, which is very boring. In fact, my daughter Kelsey used to say, I hate taxes when she was little, but she meant tax season because mom was always gone.
Right.
So after she got a little older and I didn't want to be away that much, I went to work for the government so that I could be home more.
Yeah.
And,
that's so interesting.
And also give back for this country to let me in. I mean, it was a dual purpose.
That's really nice.
But it was very interesting because it was international work. I wasn't doing exams on people.
Right. How long did you work for the IRS?
20 years.
Wow.
Just long enough to retire.
Yeah. Just you hit that 20 mark and
20 and 62 came at the same time.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what must your I guess there's some prejudice around. I think of like people that are work for the IRS. I think of a certain type, maybe not your type, a little more regimented, less outgoing. Did you stand out in your field or?
Maybe vocally.
Okay, I can see that.
But no, actually, there's a lot of really good people there.
Yeah, I didn't mean to imply not good people, but like less adventurous.
Bean counters are really known as pocket protecting, boring.
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
There's a lot of those. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot that aren't. So
that's amazing. I mean, so what were they saying when you were getting ready to retire? And by that point, you must have been fully, because you retired in December. 2 months later, you started.
Right.
So what was kind of their reaction to hearing about this adventure you were going to
They'd been hearing about it for the last 5 years.
They were ready. They were just like, Jackie, just go. Go.
They knew well. There was no giving notice that I'm retiring because they knew, like, I had given them a heads up a long time ago. But that was my plan. There's just more to life than work. And if you're able to, I don't have a expensive lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, boating is,
right.
But the rest of it. So if you can make it work, there's more to life than just working.
What appealed to you most about the loops? You did the trial run, but why?
It was a challenge. And it sounded like there's no other way to see this part of America. Like, would I have ever seen Brewerton, New York? Probably not.
No.
And
no
a
way.
lot of the little towns along the way are like that.
Yeah.
I've been to places that I never would have thought about, and I've posted about, and people are like, wow, I never thought of going there.
So true.
And there's so much history along this trip, too. So that's what appealed to me. But I'm a one and done.
You're not.
There's some people, in fact, you met one before we started talking, that he's on his second
go around. No, you're saying hello and goodbye.
Well, there's other places I want to see and do.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So the challenge, more than anything, you wanted to see, the people, the places, but the challenge called to you?
Yeah, it was definitely a personal challenge. Mm-hmm. Could I do this?
Yeah.
As well as the places I would go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now forgive me, because I've been following your journey on Facebook, but is your plan to do it continuous? Is your plan to... Okay.
Yes. Well, if I get those outboards.
Yeah. If all,
I will.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
But if all goes right, it's...
Yes. I hope to be home before Christmas.
Wow.
So somewhere December 1st or something. I have some friends that are actually staying in my house. Their house got destroyed in a hurricane.
Oh my God.
So to give them time to get their house back together, and they're babysitting my house, doing me a favor, and they've got a place to live, so I can't go home early.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, started in February. What day in February?
15th.
February 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And we are here, what is today? June, it's the end of June, right?
June 24th.
No, that's the wrong day.
Yeah.
The 24th. Okay, so you put some miles under your keel. How has the adventure been?
2,517 miles so
Wow.
far. I am keeping
Wow.
track of all the statistics.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, the history part is what is fascinating. You never stop.
Did that
learning.
surprise you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think more than I expected. But there's so much history in all these towns. The downside is some of the weather waits, and the Erie was closed for a couple weeks.
Right.
That part's not fun. But I'm not going to stop. It's not discouraging me.
Right, right.
I do have two boats I know that were on this with me that have stopped, but I'm not stopping.
You posted about a couple of the boats that are kind of cruising along with you. Did you meet them on the loop? Did you know either of these boats prior?
I know one Rosborough.
Yeah.
That's actually 2 boats over. Him I knew before the loop because there's Rosborough rendezvous.
Right, right.
So I had known Bob before, but we didn't meet up until New Jersey.
Wow.
He caught up to me in New Jersey, and then we traveled from New Jersey to here.
Okay.
The other boats, no. We met along the way.
That seems kind of common, especially when you get to we'll call them like pinch points like this, like along the canal. Even coming into this small, really quaint, really cool marina, I noticed a bunch of burgies on it.
Right. Yeah. And you know, when you're going through the locks, you tend to be the same group of boats going at the same speed.
Right.
And you all have to, there's only limited places really to stop. So you tend to see the same group of boats each day.
How has that been? Kind of a little mini community on the move.
It's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's so helpful and supportive of each other.
Yeah.
And it's nice to meet. I mean, there's one guy over here who's a pilot. And, you
Yeah.
know, there's some
Yeah.
interesting stories from people. And they're from all different places. Everybody starts somewhere different on the loop. So you're meeting people that are not used to salt water or that are used to salt water and have never boated on the Great Lakes. So it's a good information sharing.
You went ICW the whole way up, or did you poke out at all for any legs?
I did the ICW up to Norfolk.
Okay,
And then when it got to the New Jersey ICW, I'd heard not great things about it. So I went outside from Cape May to Atlantic City.
Okay.
Because it was just easier.
Yeah. Yeah. You had a good calm day for that?
Yeah, it was perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to break this up. I want to hear about a couple places that stuck out to you that were memorable or that really jumped out that you enjoyed. But how do we break this up? Let's say from the Chesapeake south, let's say that's like a half of the coast. What was there any favorite spots that jumped out on
100,
that? Like
yes,
100.
Well, no, not 100,
okay.
but Ocracoke.
I've only ever read about it.
Go.
Yeah.
It was adorable.
Virginia?
Ocracoke is on the Outer Banks.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's an island. You have to get there by ferry or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But when the loop timing, you get there before it's really tourist season.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah. So I stayed there for a week because then you have to go up the Pamlico Sound, which is notoriously rough.
Yeah.
So I was in Ocracoke for a week with plenty to do.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's the first place I told Kelsey that I might actually consider buying a house here.
Wow,
you know?
I could see that.
Which I won't.
Yeah, but you could.
But I could see myself living there.
Okay.
And I thought that was just fascinating. And then
that's got great history. I mean, that's...
Yes, Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I was standing where Blackbeard was killed. You know,
Epic.
I'm like, I am here. He had a pirate party there. I'm like, steer with the pirates.
That seems to fit you just fine. This is making more sense now.
Yeah. So, but leaving there was the scariest part of the trip too, because when I got on I waited a week for good weather.
Yeah.
But once you got into the middle of the Pamlico, it was not. And although I've had water spray over the top of this Rosborough for the first time ever, I buried the bow, and that did go like, okay, I need to change up what I'm doing here. So I got myself off closer to land on the east side and was able to get out of the middle where it was bad.
Because it could be, the waves can be so stacked, right? Because it's a sound, it's a little narrow, and like the waves can...
Yeah, it's shallow,
really
and they just build, and it has a long fetch, so when you're leaving Ocracoke, by the time it's down there...
straight down the barrel.
Right, so the further north I got, the less and less, but yeah, that was...
What do you think? I mean, it's always so hard to really know wave height, but what were they saying for that day?
It was supposed to be less than 2 feet.
But it wasn't.
It was not. And in fact, several of us on boats this year have said the weather people are just getting it wrong. It's just not,
I've been
for
hearing
some
that more
reason.
and more.
Yeah, it's just not what they're saying.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I said too after that trip.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that again.
No. So, okay, Ocracoke. Let's do Chesapeake North. Any other spots that jumped out at you as being really special?
Well, that was anchoring underneath the Statue of Liberty was really, especially as an immigrant.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got Ellis Island on one side of you, and you're there by the Statue of Liberty, and that was like a time of, I just thought, wow, I'm really fortunate. You know, they let me into this country, and here I sit. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was pretty,
goosebumps. That was a special moment, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Now, how long did you kind of hang out there? Did you hang out there for a little bit, or you kind of took some pictures and kept?
No, I spent the night anchored behind her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And several of the
That can be
boats
rough.
did. In fact, Blue Moon, who was over there, they were anchored off there
Okay.
as
It can
well.
be rough there in the harbor, right? Even behind down,
The
or was it
ferries that make it pretty rough, but once the ferries stop running
it's not so bad.
and all the jet skis, then it calms down.
Wow.
You know, that was pretty special.
Spending the night under it must be surreal.
Except for the next morning that my anchor was caught.
On what?
Probably a cable or
So,
something. So I have an anchor retrieval ring that I had to use to retrieve my anchor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good answer. So what about coming up the canal, coming up the Erie to where we are now? It sounds like a little bit of a love-hate, just...
Well, it's something you got to go through to get to the Thousand Islands, which is where I can't wait to get to. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah.
There's some cute little towns, but it's not as exciting as the other places you've been.
Right.
Everybody is very nice. We've met the most wonderful people. You would never guess you were in New York.
Right.
When you're out here.
What do you mean by that? No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm from New York. I can make that joke. So.
Well, New York is very, you think, so busy and, big city, and this is not.
Yeah.
So the Erie has been not as exciting as the rest of the trip. And it's a lot of locks, which gets really old when you're by yourself.
I would think that single-handed can be challenging at times.
Well, I'm fortunate because I have these side doors at the helm and the passenger side, so I can pick up a rope either side, and I just do one rope midship.
Okay.
So this boat is very good for single-handed.
Because it's light?
Because it's light and easier to, you have the doors to grab the rope.
Right.
So you're not trying to, run up on the deck and things like that. Yeah.
I did the Erie Canal a number of years ago, and I thought it was very unique and interesting, like the history of it. It was like you could see how some of these towns that were built up because of the industry, and this was such a, so much trade came through the canal, but it's on harder times these days. So it is. Yeah. I think I would recommend it to people for sure. But I think you said it best in one of your posts. It's very interesting. A trip I want to do once.
It's you got to do it once just to see it.
Yeah, I
agree.
This
is the 200-year anniversary.
That's right. Yeah, we did a big story on it.
So yeah, and I was actually expecting a lot of celebrations, and we didn't see anything. But they've had a lot of closures too.
Right.
So once they finally opened, and when we sat for 2 weeks at Mills Norrie State Park waiting for the canals to open.
Wow.
And so once they opened, you just wanted to get through before they closed again, and they have.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I think the Western Erie is supposed to be more exciting than this part up to, where you branch off to Oswego.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
So, what are you looking forward to most on the kind of this next jaunt?
The Thousand Islands and the Georgian Bay.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Georgian Bay, it's just supposed to be so beautiful.
Yeah.
Clear water, lots of hiking.
Yeah.
I want to take a seaplane and go over the islands.
Wow.
Yeah. And then also Door County in Wisconsin, I've heard is gorgeous.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to Door County.
So it's interesting when I think about your timeline. So you want to be back in December.
Mm-hmm.
You're moving. You have to kind of keep moving. You don't have huge chunks of time. But like for example, like the Thousand Islands or Door County, are you budgeting that to say, okay, that's a place I'd like to stop, smell the roses, and spend 3-4 days a week maybe? Is there any places like that or?
Because you don't have a car. In most places you stop, and once you get into Canada and there's the Trent Severn, you're pretty much tied up on a canal wall.
Right.
So you can only see what's really walkable. So you really don't need more than 2 nights in most places.
Interesting.
And that's pretty sufficient. If there's something I really want to stop for that I can't get to, like I can't get the seaplane to go, I might stay 3 nights.
Okay.
But otherwise, I don't think there's anywhere I would spend a week anyway.
Okay, and then maybe like the only thing a place to come to, maybe like Chicago or something. Is there anything like that has a lot?
So it's funny that you say that because of what I did for work. I went to all the big cities for work.
Oh, okay. So you're not interested.
I'm not. I just go right by them.
Okay, that's interesting.
Right.
What has surprised you the most on this trip? We talked about it. We touched on it a little bit. It was the history, but is there any other things that you just didn't vision when you were dreaming of this?
The locks closing.
Yeah, that's a real
I didn't expect as much wind, and I don't know why, because the winter when we start, or when I started, is the windy season in Florida too.
Yep.
So why would I not expect it to be in the rest of it? So I didn't account for how much weather weight I would be doing.
Yeah.
But I think I had been planning and dreaming and watching other loopers before me so long. There hasn't been a lot of total surprises. It's
I just wonder because
fun.
I just wonder. That's awesome. Because I wonder if you were dreaming so long, you thought, oh, you had a vision. It's gonna be like this, and it turned out not. Like it's a lot more.
No, I recommend everybody do it. Anybody that's got a boat, I highly recommend the loop. And I'm halfway through it. Maybe by the end my answer will change, but I don't think so. I think the best is still in front of me.
Yeah.
So it's a good trip. Do it.
Well, I want to talk about more of that in a second, but I did want to talk about the boat just a little bit more. I mean, it's, I love it. I mean, it seems to fit you so well. How is the boat held up? Why do you think, why for you is this boat?
This boat.
Okay,
go ahead.
Because there's so much talk online, and it's like, what's the best gray loop boat? What's this? It's like, it's such. When it comes to the loop, the number one topic is, well, you gotta have a loop boat. You gotta have. I think this is a great one, but why was it right for you?
Okay, well, I'm familiar with outboards.
Yeah.
So I can work on my own outboards.
Okay.
So I knew I would never go to a diesel. Yeah. As well as a diesel wouldn't be my lifestyle at home and go into the Bahamas either. So I knew I had to have something with outboards. I actually, believe it or not, went to look at a Ranger tug before I got my head on straight. But nothing bad about those.
I like Ranger tugs. If they're listening, I think they're cool. But
no,
I get it.
It didn't have outboards.
Yeah.
Right? And I kept looking at it, and something about it, I just couldn't, And the guy said, "Come here, I'll show you." And I explained to him, I said, I don't need fluff. I said, I need sturdy, hard, strong. And this boat is a Billy, I call it, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, sure.
It's a Billy Badass little boat.
I like that.
I can go through some very rough.
That's a great quote.
Yeah, some really rough weather in her, and I feel very, very safe. And the fact that she has the cover back there, I don't want to sit in the sun, and the 2 side doors,
right,
and is so sturdy constructed,
yeah,
and has outboards. I mean, there's just nothing better.
All your boxes.
Yeah, I mean, I've got microwave, TV, showers. She's got everything you need to do the loop. And I can't have one guest. I told them their max limit is 1 week, and they got to get off.
Yeah, yeah.
There's just not enough room for more than that. Yeah. So, and there's a lot of couples that loop on these.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Is there anything you wish the boat had? Anything you do?
I have a Honda generator that I can pull out and use.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would be really nice just to push a button and have a built-in generator, but then it would take up space.
Yeah.
And so it's a trade-off. So
I get it.
Yeah.
I have one of those little Hondas too. They're
great. They get the job done. But where are you going to store it? And you got to have gas for it. And,
right. Yeah. Right. No.
And everybody says don't use them on a boat. You know that too, right?
It's all right. Yeah.
I don't. I put it on the platform. It's not on
Actually,
the boat.
that's what we do too. Swim platform doesn't count, right?
It's officially not on the boat. It's
No, yeah, so it doesn't count in LOA, so we're good. So to your advice of that you think everyone should do it. I mean, that's what was so interesting about your, to me with your story. It's, there's not that many people that do it solo. There's not that many, if I could just be frank, there's not that many females that do it solo. Any advice to somebody that is thinking about it? And I mean, already what you've accomplished, 2,517 miles, is so many more than I think 90% of people that enjoy boating that are in our pastime that would be way too intimidated.
Yeah, and I think it is just get some time under your belt on the boat in different kinds of weather.
Right.
Understand the weather and understand the weather, but don't let anything intimidate. There's so much help out there.
Yeah.
And joining AGLCA and watching what other people are doing before you.
Yeah.
But like I said, I got this boat 13 years before I left.
Yeah.
So I know this boat very well. And if you don't know how to do something, look on YouTube. There's going to be something that shows you how to do it.
I think that's actually really sneaky good advice, because again, we talk about, like, so many people are like, well, I got to get my loop boat. But maybe, and everyone's like, what's the best loop? The number one question, what's the best boat for the loop? Well, isn't it a boat you're comfortable with?
Well, it's
right?
the boat you already have and you've paid for.
Well,
that's the best boat.
Yeah.
So a paid-for boat is where I would start.
I'm with you on that one. But even if some people could just, buy a new one for this adventure, and
right.
But you're not accustomed to it. I mean, you in this boat were like,
Yeah. I would say access stores. Now, you've got to remember, most people that buy a boat, they're a couple. Mm-hmm. So there's two voices of what's the best boat.
True.
And me,
boss.
I'm also the mechanic and engineer, so I don't want the fluff and the luxuries, because that's just more to fix. Mm-hmm. So it's got to be a compromise between the luxuries and less time fixing stuff.
So you're here now. You get some shaft seals that need attention, but and I think was it a battery charger you replaced? Or have there been any other repairs that were needed so far?
Not a battery charger. Yeah, my second day out, I hit a crab trap, and it wound up being a spun hub when I got to the other side of the thing. And at the same time, while I was just running on the one good motor, that motor stopped, and it wound up being a fuel flow sensor. So I had two motors out at the same time, and that was right around St. Augustine. But good old not Seatoad, it was Boat US, took me into a place that got those fixed. But other than that, I haven't had too much trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess, to belabor my last question of, like, now that you are so far into it, do you have any, I mean, that was great advice, like, getting the right boat. Any other advice or tips that, for the people that are considering it? I mean, I find it to be pretty inspiring that, you just got out of your comfort zone and embraced the challenge.
Well, and I think that's a good tip. Just get out of your comfort zone sometimes. If you keep waiting to do it someday, well, I got to wait for this or I got to wait for that. I mean, I did wait for retirement, but that was a known. You didn't have the option to take a year off where I worked.
Yeah.
So just get out and do it. But as far as tips go, there's just so much information available through AGLCA. You're just never alone. If that's some of your fear that, I haven't boated in New York or I haven't boated, they're just little steps at a time. It's not like the entire thing is going to be intimidating. They're just little one day at a time trips.
I love that advice. I've heard different versions of that where it's like, you just break it down. It's not one unbelievable. It's 100-day trips or something. It's like, oh, well, that's an interesting.
And I've heard some, couples where the wife or the girlfriend that I can't be away from my grandchildren that long, but that I have grandchildren too.
Yeah,
but I found a great way, me and my daughter, that I do a video of different places, and my daughter took a map of the Great Loop and put little Velcro things, and then she cut out a picture of my boat.
I saw that. It's a little video of the boat and your head on it, right? Is that what
so I send the video, and my granddaughter moves the boat. So that's worked out really well. My granddaughter just loves it. And if I don't send her a video after a while, like, Grandma, why are you still? Why aren't you moving?
Now, how old is your granddaughter?
3.
Okay.
She's 3.
It's I got to think that I don't know if she fully appreciates it yet, but I mean this has got to be inspiring to her to be able to.
I hope so.
I think so.
She's been on the boat with me, and so
Yeah.
she knows it's Grandma's boat.
Right,
so
right.
It's not Grandpa's boat, it's Grandma's boat.
Yeah.
So hopefully she'll be a little water rat. Her mom is, so.
Yeah. I think she's probably well on her way. I mean, is any other thoughts for other women that are women boaters that maybe are considering either it could be the loop or other adventures and have maybe some trepidation about going solo? Like, how do you?
Yeah. Probably the only concern I had was safety as far as humans,
Sure.
but I haven't found that to be an issue whatsoever. There's always other loopers around. So
Right.
the going solo part is no longer, I'm not intimidated by that. It's for my safety.
Yeah.
And as far as anything else, any women that want to start boating, there are all kinds of classes just for women's groups to get you started. And other
more and
women
more.
are so encouraging that, I ran into another boat that was a wife couple that were out, and they just bought the boat just for this. So there's plenty of women out here doing it. And even for all the wives on boats, you need to learn how to help, because if something happened to your husband, you have to be able to get back.
You're so right. There's more women-only classes, I think, than ever now.
There are.
Is there a particular resource that maybe you've come across that you thought was especially either inspiring or educational, or?
Because I got the School of Hard Knocks by an old salt.
Right.
I haven't
You didn't
actually
need it,
taken any.
Right. I didn't wonder if you've heard peripherally.
Yeah, no. And I would say local yacht clubs and, power boat clubs. And we've passed several up and down the Hudson.
Yeah.
We could saw power boat clubs and
Yeah.
just getting involved. We've got Dunedin Boat Club down where I am, and getting involved in one of those clubs and getting on somebody else's and starting to ask questions and, asking them if you can learn to drive,
Yeah.
The people are helpful.
No, I agree. Where can, if people listening to this, the millions around the world, if they want to follow your adventure,
Sure.
where can they follow along?
I have a private Facebook page called Conky Jack's Great Loop Adventure.
Now, how do you spell that? Because it is
Right.
so
Well,
Conky.
CONCHY, Jack, JAC, apostrophe S, Great Loop Adventure. And you just request to join, and we'll let you in.
Excellent.
And-
The Conky Jacks. I mean, I kind of get it, right? We get some Bohemian.
All right,
but-
where did
but
the name come from?
there's-
Okay.
you're
So
smiling, there's a
in the
story.
Bahamas,
Yep.
white Bahamians, and this is not derogatory in any way, they're known as Conky Joes. So I am a Conky Joe because I'm a white Bahamian.
Yeah.
And so I just took a little spin on that because my name is Jackie.
Yeah.
So I changed it to Conky Jack.
I love that.
Yeah.
The question I like to kind of wrap up everyone with, but I think will be especially interesting for you, is what has boating brought to your life?
Oh, it is life. There's just something so peaceful about being on the water, and a boat is how you get there. And you can get from A to B and see places you wouldn't see by car. So boating is just such a natural, to be on the boat and have my grandkids splashing around in the water, or, be with my friends for the day. Boating is where it's at. It's a peace and a calm. Sometimes when I was working, I couldn't wait for the weekend just to get offshore and just, relax. The boating is the best.
Wow. And
It's a peace of mind.
yeah, it really I like what you were about to say. You were about to say boating is your life.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly now it is.
I told
but-
Kelsey that when I get old, I said, don't put me in a home, whatever, just put me in the boat and push me off.
You know how
Just
many
let me
people
go.
I've heard that have told me
Yeah.
this? How many boaters are
That's
like
where
just
I'm going to be the happiest, when I go, if I can be on the water. Yeah.
Well, Jackie, it's been so great to hear some of your story, and I can't wait to follow along on your epic
Awesome.
adventure.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you.
for coming out to meet me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Without my love for the ocean, I would be long gone by now. devotion.